And good evening, Wave Country. Thanks for stopping by. Carson Meredith with you here on this Sunday night. Hope you are well. Hope your family and friends are well as too. We are winding down PGA Championship weekend. What a finish to that tournament, huh? We'll talk more about that on Wave News coming up tonight at 11. But we are joining you tonight to talk about some busy weather ahead. Over the next 7 to 10 days, a little bit of everything. In fact, we're going to start things off with some heat the next couple of days. Kind of started today. If you've been outside, you know that already. Then we turn our attention to maybe a few stronger storms on Wednesday. And then we look ahead to some, I'll call it annoying storms for Memorial Day weekend. Not seeing much in the way of severe for the holiday weekend, but it looks like good old-fashioned Memorial Day weekend weather. And we'll talk more about that as the evening goes on. Let's see who is chiming in. Nancy's asking about Tuesday. We'll get to Tuesday, but it's looking pretty good. Weather Geek says good evening. Emily says hello from Hanover, Indiana. Hope all is well up in Hanover. GFS being a little crazy on Memorial Day, says Cameron. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, but I'm not seeing much severe threat yet. For more Memorial Day. Goodness, I can't talk tonight. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Excited for Wednesday as long as it's not a tornado outbreak. Gonna go track it on my patio. Well, be smart, okay? But it will not be a tornado outbreak at all. In fact, the severe weather threat, to be completely honest with you, it's still a little up in the air. I do expect a few stronger storms Wednesday, but it doesn't look like a huge event, if that makes sense. And we're going to dive deeper into that over the next few minutes. Angela, always watching. Hope all is well, Angela, in your world. Kayla says hello as well. Let's get started, shall we? We're going to take you live to Starlight, Indiana. Do you know we have a SkyTrack camera out in Starlight? It's a beautiful one, too. It was a gorgeous day. If only it wasn't so hot, right? If you didn't tune in last night here on Wave Weather Now, I was saying that I just do not like the summer. It's so hot, humid. You don't want to get outside. Fall is my season. And post in the comments. I had a few folks join me in the fall club last night. Maybe we got a few more out there tonight. But we always get these little stretches in May where it feels more like June or July instead. And this looks like it's going to be that stretch for this May here in 2024. The official climate report from Louisville so far has us at 88 for a high today. But that was recorded around 4:30 this afternoon. Since then, I think we've bumped up to 89, maybe 90. We haven't gotten that official update yet. We'll probably get that sometime in the next hour or so, but it doesn't matter what the exact temperature was. It was hot today, and it's still kind of warm out there tonight. 86 is the temperature here in Louisville, and most of us are in the low to mid 80s still this evening. So at least we have the sunshine to enjoy, right? We didn't have any of the pop-up storms, and it wasn't all that humid, which is a good thing, right? The humidity always makes it worse. Getting a little tongue-tied tonight. Sorry, guys. So we didn't have to worry about that a whole lot. But it's going to stay a little crispy for the next couple of days. You see on a few of our Kentucky Mesonet cameras, bright blue sky. Had some puffy white clouds this afternoon. That's all. They're gone now that we're starting to cool down a little bit. 79 in Bullitt County, 81 in Oldham and Taylor County, and it's 82 this evening in Carroll County. Beautiful, beautiful evening. It's going to be quiet overnight tonight. 63 is our low temperature. You can probably get away without a jacket tomorrow morning because we will warm things up quickly once the sun comes up. We'll keep an eye on fog once again tomorrow morning, and I think it's going to be similar to this morning where most spots are fine, but if you live in a valley, if you live outside the city, you might have a little fog right around sunrise tomorrow morning. Shouldn't be a big deal, just something to keep in mind. All right, let's dive into the heat part of our 10-day forecast first. Then we'll get to the severe storm potential. There's your high temperatures for tomorrow. I decided to bump up that forecast to 90 here in Louisville on Monday. And most of us will be getting close to 90. Talk about that heat island all the time in Louisville, right? It's always going to be 2 or 3 degrees warmer at the airport compared to the rest of town, compared to the rest of Wave Country. That's exactly why our forecast is 90 here in Louisville and 87 to 88 elsewhere. Now, having said that, the official records for Louisville are at the airport, and the record is in jeopardy tomorrow. It was only set a couple of years ago. Let's see, today's the 19th, so tomorrow's the 20th. So the record for May 20th was actually just set a couple of years ago, 2022. We hit 91. So we're going to get close to it tomorrow for sure. Do we break the record? I'm not sure. I don't think we get to 92 tomorrow. Could we tie it? Yeah, definitely. But for now, our forecast high is 90, comes up just a little bit short. But it's definitely going to be a hot Monday. Now, for Tuesday, our forecast high is 90 again. All right. But the record is a little more out of reach on Tuesday. I think it's around 93 or 94. And that's not going to happen as we get towards Tuesday. All right. Comment time. Let's see here. A lot of folks chiming in tonight. Nancy says, grandson's field day was postponed. Man, that stinks. Postponed from this past Friday, probably the right call with all the rain, and it's going to be on Tuesday of this week. No issues at all, Nancy. Aside from that heat, make sure your grandson has a lot of water for field day on Tuesday. Katie says, I love a good thunderstorm, but I'm so scared of tornadoes. Yeah, you guys have heard me talk about my fear of tornadoes when I was younger. I get it. Thankfully, the tornado threat, it's there on Wednesday, but it's not huge, okay? It's pretty, if you made me rank all the threats I'm watching, it's the bottom threat, all right? So take comfort in that. Let's see. Going to be hot on Tuesday, Nathan says. You got it. Winter and summer are the favorite seasons. Fair enough. I do like winter because I'd rather be cold than hot. But summer just does not do it for me. Plus, fall means football, and I'm a huge sports guy, so there's that. Hope your day wasn't too busy, Jason says. It wasn't too bad. It's always busy in the weather office, whether it's quiet weather or active weather. But, as long as we don't have severe weather to talk about this weekend, which we didn't, that's a good thing. I was really concerned about rain causing issues at Valhalla, and it kind of did on Friday, obviously, unfortunately, in an extent, but turned out to be a beautiful weekend. That is for sure. What will it take for Wednesday to be upgraded? Joshua asked on YouTube. It's hard to say, Joshua. I don't know. I'm going to show you the SPC risk. In fact, I'll pull it up right now because that's our next slide to talk about. So this is the severe weather risk for Wednesday. We're not worried about Tuesday here, guys. I know some people are asking about Tuesday for storms. That's not an issue for us. That's going to be way out to our west. Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, they're going to have to deal with some pretty significant severe weather on Tuesday. Tuesday is not an issue for us. So all good Tuesday. Hot, but all good. No storms. It's Wednesday that we're watching. And you notice the Storm Prediction Center put in a fairly narrow zone of a slight risk on Wednesday. So it covers all of southern Indiana, everybody. If you live in Indiana, you're in a slight risk for severe weather Wednesday. And it also extends into parts of Kentucky, basically along the Ohio River. So Breckinridge County, let's say down towards Hardinsburg, Cloverport, Irvington, Brandenburg, Meade County, of course, even down into Bullitt County here in Louisville, Shelbyville, Oldham County, Henry County, Trimble, and Carroll. If I called out your county or your town in Kentucky, you're also under that slight risk right now on Tuesday. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, we've got a slight risk out. Why is there not an alert day out at this point? That's a good question. There's still a lot of, well, a couple of things. First of all, this is not in my opinion, this is not a slam dunk severe weather event. Okay. It's not like the ones we had a couple weeks ago where they had all the tornadoes down in Tennessee and Alabama. It's not like that. It's not like the night we had the tornado in Clark County a couple weeks ago. It's not like what we had back in April. It's not the same setup here. It's not as strong, especially with the shear, the wind energy. So that's one thing. And another is we still need to figure out the exact timing of this front, because this is going to be a system that depends a lot on the instability and the fuel in the atmosphere. If this front moves in early in the morning Wednesday or late in the evening Wednesday, we're not going to have as much fuel, which is a good thing, right? Not as much fuel means not as many severe storms. But if that front moves in towards the afternoon, we could have more problems. We'll see how it all plays out. Check back in with Tawana and Brian tomorrow morning. They may update this forecast as we get closer into the mesoscale model range. So all the high-res models, they'll start to really get a good idea of what's going to happen Wednesday. And we'll be able to really narrow down the timing of that front too. So stay with us for updates, okay? No alert day for now, but that could still change. So hope that answers everybody's question on that. Heidi says, hello, miss you in Huntsville. Hey, always got to take care of my friends in North Alabama. Hope everybody's well down there. Derek's chiming in. Angela says, saw the report of that complex of storms in Houston. Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? Did you guys see that? That was on Thursday of last week. And they actually classified it as a derecho, which is basically this gigantic cluster of storms that just produces damage everywhere it goes for hundreds and hundreds of miles. Angela's spot on. This one traveled over 1,000 miles all the way down to Florida. Crazy stuff there in Houston earlier this week. So yeah, that was wild. Thankfully, we didn't have that. Denise says, love summer. Okay. Love it, Denise. But I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. Fall is my season. Spring's okay, but the allergies always give me trouble. So Brad's got a good comment here. Okay, I'm done with all this rain, please. Yeah. If I'm being honest with you, that's the thing that concerns me this week is rain. We might see quite a bit of it, and I'll get more into that concern here in a little while. Hang on, I got to get rid of a spammer. Spammers are everywhere, aren't they? Okay. Now we will talk about the Colorado State machine learning product. We show you this frequently on Wave Weather Now. This is basically a machine AI. yes, it's AI, that tries to pick out the areas to watch for severe storms. And the update today for Wednesday, it did ramp up a little bit. It's got this red zone that stretches from, let's say, Indianapolis down towards Evansville, across the Boot Heel of Missouri, towards Little Rock, Arkansas. But you notice how sharp the cutoff is from the red zone to the low zone, the brown color. So that's what we're talking about when it comes to the placement of the front, deciding how this plays out Wednesday, okay? Based on what I have seen today, the trend has been slower with this front, which would limit to an extent our severe threat on Wednesday. The slower, the better. And that would keep most of the action to our west and north. That can still change. And I agree with the SPC. They're being pretty cautious as far as putting out a slight risk just to cover their basis at this point. And that's perfectly understandable. There could be a few stronger storms here in wave country, but it looks like for now the main issue, the greater concern, is just to our west. And that'll get more fine-tuned in the days to come as well. So here's Futurecast. Note the time. This is 11 o'clock Tuesday night, and you see there is nothing happening in wave country. Tuesday looks good. You may notice on the 10-day that I kept a 10% rain chance in there on Tuesday. That is for very late Tuesday evening. During the day is fine. Hot with highs near 90, but there's no rain or storm chances during the day on Tuesday. It's Wednesday that we'll focus on. So you see the front, and this, by the way, is the European model. You see the front is out near Kansas City, Des Moines, Iowa. You got the potential for bad severe weather in that part of the country with this front on Tuesday. But here's another thing to keep in mind. As this front pushes eastward, it's going to lose some of its punch, all right? Because the better wind energy with this system is going to be further and further to the north, up into the Great Lakes, up into Canada. And as that happens, you lose that wind energy. That means the risk for stronger storms that have gusty winds and even tornadoes is a little bit lower. At the same time, as we fast forward through the day on Wednesday, you're going to notice more fuel, more atmosphere fuel. And that kind of counteracts the lack of wind energy. Okay, so it's a delicate balance of how this is all going to play out. So this is 9:30 Wednesday morning. And let me take it full screen here for a second so y'all can see it. There's really not a whole lot going on, okay? Most of the storms from Tuesday night will be weakening by the time this front gets here. There could be a few rain showers, maybe one or two non-severe storms Wednesday morning. But there's no significant severe weather issue as we get towards Wednesday morning. It might be gloomy. There might be some showers and a couple rumbles around, but that's about it. Now, this front is going to slow down as it gets here. So it's going to go really fast, slow. It's going to slow down as it moves towards wave country. And that's going to allow for the fuel, the atmospheric fuel, to kind of charge up the atmosphere, right? And maybe set off some thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening. So if we see anything in the morning, that's not an issue. It's if anything fires up in the afternoon that might pack a punch. And again, because that's another reason why it's so hard to nail down the timing of this front. Because we know it's going to slow down. We just don't know how much it's going to slow down. So still a lot of these details that we have to figure out over the next couple of days. Let's see what other comments we got here. Slight risk looks like the solar eclipse path. Yeah, right across central and southern Indiana. And I think that's where the main threat is, to be totally honest with you. Up towards Indy, Evansville, that corridor. And as this front tries to get through here, it looks like we'll see a general weakening trend, but we can't rule out a few strong storms. As far as the threats, I forgot to get the threat list. I apologize for that. But the main threat is going to be those damaging wind gusts, not necessarily like a derecho. That's not happening at all, I don't think. But you get some of these storms that kind of give you a downburst of straight line wind around 60 miles per hour. That's the main issue. But with this front being slow, that kind of increases the heavy rain potential a little bit. So that's another thing we'll have to watch. I'm not going to rule out a tornado threat Wednesday. It's low. I'm not overly concerned about it at this point. So take comfort in that. Main issue is going to be some damaging wind gust as we get towards Wednesday. So that's where it stands at the moment. If you guys have any questions, of course, let me know. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But you also notice as we go towards Thursday that with that front slowing down, it eventually stalls out. And that means that we're going to keep some storm chances around all the way through the holiday weekend. Now, is the holiday weekend going to be a washout? Absolutely not. No, it is not. But with that front nearby, it kind of, good way to think of it is like train tracks. It kind of lays down the railroad tracks for these little disturbances to just kind of ride along the front, one after another, after another, after another. And with each little disturbance, of course, those storm chances will be there. So we'll go to the 10-day. Let it get loaded up here. And you'll notice those scattered storm chances will be with us through the rest of the work week past Wednesday. So Thursday and Friday, obviously, and into the holiday weekend. I'm not going to get too specific, that is, on which days have more rain, which days have less at this point, because it's really hard to nail down the exact timing of those little disturbances that go along those railroad tracks, right? 40% chances on Thursday and Friday because that front's still pretty fresh and it's still nearby. And as we get towards the holiday weekend itself, we'll pop out the map here. You just kind of notice smattering of showers and storms. Again, is it going to be a washout? No. In fact, I think we'll see decent bits of dry time Saturday, Sunday, and for the holiday on Monday. But at the same time, there's going to be moments where those storms roll in. You get your lightning notification on the Wave Weather app, which if you download our app, you will get, as well as any warnings that might be issued. And you got to bring your holiday barbecues inside. So keep an eye on the skies next weekend. Models have been picking up on maybe a low trying to move through or move nearby on Memorial Day. And if that were to be the case, that would really ramp up the rain chances for the holiday itself. But we're still a week away from that, so we're not going to go too all in on those rain chances just yet. But you get the idea, guys. It's going to be very active as we get towards the holiday weekend, starting with the strong storm potential Wednesday. And then we're just going to keep those on again, off again storms around pretty much all the way through until we maybe quiet down about a week and a half from now towards the following Wednesday after Memorial Day. So we're getting into that point of the year where it's always busy. Man, the spammers are bad tonight. Goodness. So we're going to get in that point of the year where these pop-ups are going to be around every single day. And it's going to be warm and it's going to be humid. So it just comes with the territory. And that's definitely where we're going to be heading for the holiday weekend. Ashley's chiming in. Will they come with the severe risk for the rest of the week, or is Wednesday the main show? I think Wednesday's the main show. And again, it may not be much of anything. It may be more to our north and west. And all we have on Wednesday is, maybe a few severe thunderstorm warnings, one tornado warning, something like that. Having said that, as you guys know, during the late spring, early summer, some of those pulse type pop-up storms may dump. Very heavy rain, could have some wind with them for 15 minutes. So they issue a severe thunderstorm warning just to be safe. That would be the issue for the holiday weekend, Ashley, but not necessarily anything organized for a severe weather potential. Hope that makes sense. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, we'll keep an eye on Wednesday. We may tag it as an alert day. It all depends on that front and how quickly it moves in and how much fuel there's going to be in the atmosphere when that front moves through. If there's more fuel, we might have problems. If it's slow to get here and we lose that fuel as the sun goes down, we might be okay with just a few regular storms. So things will keep changing. Like I said, Tawana will be here tomorrow morning. Brian is back tomorrow, so he'll be right here around 9:30 tomorrow morning, giving you an update as well. And we will go from there. That's all we can do. Another question. Ashley says, my son's kindergarten graduation is Wednesday night. Well, congratulations to the little guy. That's awesome. Anything to be concerned about Wednesday night? Well, keep an eye on the skies. That's what I'll say at this point. I don't think it's anything where you got to, miss the graduation or anything like that. But just watch the skies, watch the wave weather app in case there's any warnings that come out. I wish I could get more specific on timing at this point, but it's just too hard to do at this point. Looks like Wednesday afternoon and evening. Beyond that, we really can't say specifically. But definitely don't cancel those graduation plans, Ashley. Let him have his experience and just watch the skies and everything will be just fine. So that's it, gang. We're going to wrap this up tonight. Thanks for stopping by, as always. Keep the umbrella handy later on this week. And until then, stay cool. Stay cool, stay hydrated. If you're a fan of the 90-degree weather, go enjoy it. I'm not a fan of it, so I'll probably stay inside a little bit more. Maybe if you got a pool, maybe open up the pool a week early. Why not? And keep an eye to those storm chances that will continue to be fine-tuned, not only for Wednesday, but also for the rest of the holiday weekend. These hit-and-miss storms, it's always so hard to nail down when they'll be moving through. So those numbers, those rain chances will keep going up and down a little bit as we go through this new work week. All right, that is going to do it for a Sunday night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great week. Brian will be back here in the Wave Now studios tomorrow morning. Tawana will be on the air on Sunrise tomorrow morning, of course. But I'll also be on tonight on Wave News at 11 with an updated look at your work week forecast. 90 tomorrow, 90 Tuesday, and then the storms move in. That's the snapshot of what we will see here in Wave Country over the next 10 days. That's it for now. We will talk again soon, everybody. Have a great night.